Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back. So, as you could tell, we are going to do a recap and a review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 5, Episode 6, titled We Need a Resolution. So, I'm guessing they are talking about after the brawl that happened at Madani at Destiny's event, which was horrible. We need a resolution. So, we start off the episode. We have Tiffany visiting Destiny at the store. She just wants to catch up with Destiny as far as what is going on. So Destiny is letting her know about the drama, about everything that happened in the parking lot, about the way Mel came in and didn't say hello because Destiny didn't hear her. And in a nutshell, Destiny let us know that, listen, everybody who was involved in all of that melee came and apologized except for the one person who started it all. She haven't heard anything from Melody. So she was just catching up with Tiffany. She was just catching up with Tiffany and letting her know what's happening. So that was a quick meetup. Now we have at Kimis and Maurice's house, we have Letitia come over, and she got there before Marcel. They didn't travel together, and they were talking about what happened. Like, oh my God, that went way overboard. It didn't really need to reach that stage of it. Tisha came in and Tisha basically told Maurice, listen, you need to talk to your little brother because I don't like the way he talked to me yesterday. And, that wasn't right. I'm his wife, and the way he's talking to me in public, that wasn't cool. So I need you to talk to your brother about it. So then we have Marcel come, and Marcel is also talking about how you could tell everybody was down because of it. You could tell they did not expect them to go to that level, and it really should not have reached to that level. I stand firm on the fact that Melody should not have brought that drama there to Madani, to Destiny's event. She could have caught Miss Wanda somewhere else. It didn't need to be there. Miss Wanda is there conducting her business, setting up her tent, trying to promote her food. You see, Marcel is not getting her the food truck. She needs to be able to sell food in order to buy her little food truck, and you bring all that drama there to mess up the whole situation. Everybody's saying yes, it was an open invitation. Everybody was invited to come. Yet, Melody came in. She didn't buy anything from the store. Yes, we saw Destiny standing there with her arms folded, which she shouldn't have been, because she could have been a little bit more receptive to her guests, but she was standing there with her arms folded across her chest. And Melody came in there and didn't buy anything. You have daughters, sons who use products and stuff like that. Could have bought something from the ladies' store to go use on your kids' hair, because she sells the general products that we find in any beauty supply store. Why did you not buy anything? You didn't buy anything. You came there to start stuff. And like I said, I love Melody just as much as the next person, but you all saw that Melody came there to start some mess. She figured, okay, I'm going to catch Miss Wanda today, because they already announced who was going to be there. It was no surprise that Miss Wanda was going to be there, and she came to stir it up, and it got way out of hand. That was not staged or anything. That got way out of hand. Emotions were running high, left, right, center, and it got way out of hand. So yes, so Marcel is talking about, like I said, you could tell on everybody's face that they felt a way about it. And Tisha was telling Marcel that he didn't have to be disrespectful in the way that he spoke to her. But to Marcel's point, he was like, he needed to get her out of a bad situation, because it was going to turn out that he was going to be the one fighting, because you saw Martell standing in between Mel and Tisha and Tisha's mom. So if it had gone left where Martell got into Tisha's face, then Marcel would have to jump in, and then it would have gotten bad. But to Marcel's point, he said he and Martell spoke afterward. They squashed it. It shouldn't have been like that. We find out that Marcel still wants to work with Martell in a way, because they're talking about building out the suites for Madani, but we already know that that's not going to happen, because Destiny told us that it doesn't make sense for her to invest all that money into the suites. I don't know if she have it to invest, because she doesn't have any foot traffic coming into the store, but she's saying she's renting the spot, so why invest all that money for the landlord to turn around and end her lease, and then all that money she's invested in, she's walking away. So we know that Marcel and Martel will not be working on Destiny Suites. And as majority shareholder of the company, the president of the company, Tisha's like, no, at this point, I don't want to work at Martel, and I don't see us working together in the future. So we know that's not going to happen. So then Maurice asks him, so how do you feel about it, Marcel? You don't want to work at Martel? And Marcel is like, well, at this point, I don't want to work with an unlicensed contractor. So here we know that Martel did not take the test or pass the test. We saw him studying with the tutor. What happened? The tutor told him that anybody who has gone through her class and taken the test have passed. So why is it Martel has not passed this exam yet? Before the season 5 end, I need to hear that Martel has passed, has taken the exam for his contractors, for his builder's license, and has passed the exam and is working on his own, because we all know this is the field that Martel belongs in. Stay in the real estate field, stay in the property preservation field, stay in the building field. We see you behave differently when you are working. I find that I have more respect for him when I see him working and doing his projects than when he's getting into all of this mess and drama going on out there. And this is where he belongs. Marcel wants to work with Martel, and I think he still wants Martel's friendship. But he's conflicted between, he's not going to go outside of his house and go behind his wife's back and work with Martel, especially being that he doesn't have his builder's license. So I don't know where this is going to go. We just have to watch and see how things go. So on to the next scene now. We have Martel visiting Melody at home. He's saying that he came by to check on Melody and to see how she's doing. I figured Martel was going to tell her, listen, you just messed up my entire bag. I'm trying to work my way back in with the Scots. I'm trying to get good with them. And now you come over there and you cause all that drama. Now, all of that relationship building is down the drain. So he tells her that, even though that went down at Madani, that, as parents of the kids, I'm going to have, even though we're not together, we're still going to be in each other's life. We are parents of these children, and we're not going to allow anybody to talk bad about our kids, which I agree. That shouldn't happen. And no matter what, he's going to be in her corner. So I'm like, okay. Then to Melody's point now, they're talking back and forth, and they're saying, you know what? Miss Wanda is the one who caused all this drama. We can't have her on the show no more. He said Martel's like, she's too dirty. Melody's saying she needs to be removed from the mix. We need to be done with her. Those are the terms and things they were saying about Miss Wanda. But again, I say Melody's the one who started everything at Madani. Yes, Miss Wanda was wrong to be talking about the children, but that wasn't the place or the time for them to address it. She had plenty of time to address it over the years. She could have found Miss Wanda anywhere. She could have met her online, what she was doing. But she's like, all right, I'm going to pull up on you when you come to this event. And for that, they destroyed poor Destiny's grand reopening. They're saying, keep Miss Wanda away from us. And then Martel is like, do you think we could actually mend the relationship between the 6 of us if Miss Wanda is not in the picture? So Melody's like, probably we could try. Maybe not. Maybe we can. Maybe, I don't know. I think she's willing to actually sit down with the rest of them because she saw that she messed up things for Martel right at the opening. But I don't really think she cares to be working with them again anymore. She has enough going on by herself to be okay, but I think she's gonna sit down with them as to benefit Martel. So he's like, I want to plan to sit down. We want to go back to where we did the original combat group meeting, and let's talk and see what we could do and move from there. He's like, will you be willing to sit down with them? She's like, okay, I'll give it a try. So like I said, she's gonna do something for Martel. So that's where we ended it with Martel and Melody at her house. Now we have Stormy and Tiffany meeting at Stormy's house. So Tiffany came by, and we see her Stormy getting to know. Stormy, I like that about Stormy. Even though Melody is her friend, she's willing to talk and be friends with the other ladies, which is good. So Tiffany came by, and we see her feeding the little ponies or little horses or whatever. That's what they call ponies. And we see Tiffany getting scared. I thought you were a pet lover, like Stormy said, Tiffany. Tiffany's getting scared. She put her hand out for the horse to eat the feed from her hand. I guess she didn't like the way the tongue felt in her hand, and she dropped the feed on the floor. That was funny. So she and Stormy are talking about what happened at Madani, and Tiffany said to Stormy, so don't you think that's a good thing for, Destiny and her store? And Stormy said, I think that's the most action the store have seen in a while. So, and then she gets in the confessional and said, listen, any press is good press, good or bad, you're going to make the most of it. So she's saying that Destiny should have taken what happened at her store and capitalize on it, which is what most people do. Capitalize on it and make sales and have foot traffic coming to the store. I don't know how Destiny is gonna be able to recover from this. I hope right now her store is open and she's actually having people coming in. If not, then she might have to take it online where she doesn't have that overhead and she could just promote online and sell online. But good luck to Destiny as far as her beauty supply store is concerned. Then Stormy tells Tiffany that she's doing a commercial and she would like Tiffany to be a part of it. Tiffany was like, yes, of course. Thank you for the opportunity. So I think we see a budding friendship right there between Tiffany and Stormy. So that's where we are with it. Now we have Martel and Chris. Guys, remember Chris Fletcher? All these seasons, he'll make an appearance. If he's friends with both Martel and Melody, him and his wife are friends with Martel and Melody. So Martel goes to visit Chris because he's in the market for a new home. He tells Chris that he has only 6 months left on his lease, his rental lease, and he wants to be in a new home before the lease is up. Chris is trying to tell him, oh, I hear you're going to Destin, Florida with Melody. So maybe after that trip, you won't even need to buy a house. Martel is like, we all know that's not going to happen. Melody is done with Martel. She has moved on. She is done. She don't want the drama. And as we all know, we have Martel out here dating other people if you're following social media. So we all know that Martel and Melody, they're over. They're just co-parenting as it is. Then Chris kind of, is pushing. He's asking Martel, so how's it going with Marcel? Are you guys going to be working together? Martel goes around the world and come back around and goes again before he actually tells Chris, Marcel and I won't be working together. But I think he said that prematurely, because after he said that, he said, actually, I'm really not sure about it. I don't know if we're going to be working together. I think he's just assuming that it's really over as far as work relationships are with Marcel based on what happened with the fight and stuff like that. As anybody would, because it was bad. I know I keep saying it, but it was bad. So that was the conversation with Martel and Chris. Chris wants him and Melody to get back. Everybody is hopeful that they will, but we all know it's not going to happen. Now we have Stormy and Destiny. Destiny comes, she goes 2 minutes up the street to Stormy's warehouse. So Stormy said we could either be cordial to each other or we could tear this warehouse up with our fiery personalities. So they go and they sit down and, they basically go over, what happened at, the grand opening. You already see the tension on Destiny when she walks in. As she says, she's on 10. So she comes in with her guard up. Stormy did a great job in smoothing it over and, making sure that she was relaxed. They talk about, the gift that she was given. She said, I'd rather you had brought me some of your products rather than a Gucci bag. So Stormy goes in and she explains why that at the time when Destiny reached out to her to carry her product, she was actually going through a transition of working with the big box stores, which is something that she's always wanted to do. And she finally got the opportunity. So she needed to focus on that at the moment, and she was actually working with a new manager. She was doing a lot of transitions. She was taking most of the responsibility out of her hands and putting it in somebody else's hands. And she needed to, people work on their things, how they hold it close to their heart. So that was a big transition for her, and she said it was just bad timing basically. And she's like, maybe going in the future we could work together, but at the time that is what happened. So Destiny listened to her and she's like, oh, okay, I see, I understand why now. So it is what it is. Then Stormy's like, so why is it that you and Mel aren't friends? And in a nutshell again, Destiny tell her, listen, if you want you and I to be friends, just leave Melody out of the picture where we are concerned. She was like, do you want to sit down? Do you think you could sit down with Melody and just talk about what's happening, what's going on? And Destiny said, only Jesus Christ could come off the cross and make that happen. I'm like, oh my God, this girl. But I do not blame her. I would be still so upset if somebody came to my establishment and did that on my big day. I do not blame Destiny. That was and then again, on top of that, Melody had still not apologized for her behavior at her event. So she's like, you and I could be cool. We could work on getting to know each other, but just leave Mel and I. Leave that relationship alone. Let's just focus on us. So that was Stormy and Destiny. Now we have the last scene. We have Marcel and Tiffany. Now we have Marcel and Tisha at Blaque. And then we see one of my favorite YouTubers come in. I didn't even know it was going to be on there. Funky Deneva walks in. And they were like, oh my God. So come to find out, Funky Deneva basically said he and Martell have a mutual respect for each other. He said the fact that, Martell is a straight man. He's a gay man. He has never let him feel less than or treated him any differently. And we all know that Funky Deneva, as well as myself, has been reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville since season 1. However, he has more of a foothold in the reality TV review space than I do. So you guys will go over there and give him thousands of views and only give me a couple of hundred. I need y'all to run up these views on these videos that I'm posting. So Funky Deneva have a conversation. He's having a conversation with Marcel and Tisha about Miss Wanda. And he tells Tisha, listen, your mom is way too involved in everything that is going on. You need to let her know that if she don't behave herself and stop jumping in your business, she can't come around no more. Of course, Marcel took the opportunity to say, you better not agree with him, because this is the same thing I've been telling you for years. And Tisha's like, how am I supposed to tell my mom don't come around? I can't be disrespectful to her. He said, there's a way to do it. She's from back in the days when you were like, your parents tell you to do what they want you to do, and you do it. Whereas now in 2022, you have to tell her, mom, you need to step back and let me live my life. She's like, there's a way. It's gonna be an uncomfortable conversation for you to be having with your mother, but it's necessary. So that's where they had ended the conversation. So the way Funky Deneva brought it to them, he was like, I was watching Melody's live, and did y'all get to tussling in the parking lot? Which is what we all saw at Melody's live that day. We saw bits and pieces, and we knew that it was coming up in this season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So it was good to see Funky Deneva on the show. It was good to see him interacting with Marcel and Tisha. Let's see if he gets to come back again. But yeah, that is the general recap and review of the show. They still have the air of the fight on everybody. The whole of Huntsville and all of America who watches this show is talking about it, because it was something that we've never seen before, and it got really, really bad. I mean, we've seen it on reality TV in other shows like Love and Hip Hop, Miami, New York, Atlanta, but we've never seen it on a show like this. We've seen them sit down and have arguments, but we've never seen anybody putting their hands on each other, people pull back and stuff like that. So it was really interesting and disturbing to see it happen on Love and Marriage Huntsville. So let's see how these people try and mend their relationships going forward. I think we see next week where they have a sit down, the comeback group have a sit down and a talk, and we'll just see if Melody is willing to sit down and talk to to Destiny, because honestly I think Melody does owe Destiny an apology. I think she owes her an apology, and I think she needs Destiny deserves one. So that's where we are with it. So thank you guys for watching / listening to my recap and my review of Love and Marriage Huntsville season 5 episode 6, titled We Need a Resolution. And yes, they do. And until next time, be sure to take care of yourselves and your families. Bye bye.